New tonight, the Call 7 investigators uncovering there is no requirement in Colorado for hospitals to notify police about a sexual assault.
John Ferrugia is live, and John, you're finding victims who say one hospital is ignoring their claims.
That's right, Ann. Records show that in the past 5 years, the Vail Police Department and Eagle County Sheriff's Office combined have had more than 225 reported sexual assaults. Our investigation found that 2 of those, both involving children, have been reported by the Vail Valley Medical Center. Now, 2 women who both say they are victims charged that when they reported being assaulted, the hospital staff did little or nothing.
I assumed that the hospital would want to take care of anybody that was there. I assumed they were squarely in my corner. I didn't realize I was going to end up fighting with the hospital that was caring for me.
After a car accident in 2008, Catherine underwent extensive neck surgery at the Vail Valley Medical Center in September 2011. A day and a half later, she was allowed to shower.
My privates were like totally raw and chapped and painful, and I thought, I feel like I've been violated.
She immediately called a nurse and a physician's assistant to report what she believed might be a sexual assault.
I wanted to make sure that I was, clear and calm.
A doctor was called, who Catherine says clearly didn't believe her.
She was like, I'm the OB, and you want me to do a full pelvic exam or a full vaginal exam so that you understand that nothing happened to you that shouldn't have. I'm like, no, I want you to do a full pelvic exam so I can know what the heck happened to me.
Like most who report a sexual assault, Catherine had no idea of the procedure, no idea about a forensic exam or rape kit. But she thought the doctor would do the appropriate testing. But during the exam,
she said, and you're very red and raw, which could be consistent with a yeast infection. And I remember saying to her, I don't have a yeast infection.
In fact, that test could have destroyed important evidence. It was several days after she was discharged that she contacted her general practitioner as directed by the hospital.
And they were like, we don't have any test results. What are you talking about?
Catherine realized she had only been tested for a yeast infection. Records show it was normal. But she hadn't been tested for an assault. And not only did Vail Valley Medical Center not collect evidence, but Catherine realized the staff had never contacted police to report the alleged assault. So even though more than 2 weeks had passed,
I called the police. Yeah, I called the Vail police.
After hearing her story, Vail police directed her to a sex assault nurse examiner, or SANE nurse, to check for any healing injuries. But it was much too late for the nurse to draw any conclusion.
I think victims don't know what their choices are. They don't understand what they can say yes and no to.
Erin Jemison is the executive director of the Colorado Coalition Against Sexual Assault. She says Catherine's story is not unique because state law does not require hospitals to report an assault or take evidence unless the staff believes a crime has been committed.
It shouldn't be up to them to decide whether a crime occurred.
And Catherine isn't the only woman we found who believes the staff at the Vail Valley Medical Center is ignoring rape cases.
I felt like at the very least they should have called someone that knew what to do.
Do you believe they helped you at all?
No, I mean, nothing was accomplished there.
Lee was visiting from another state in 2010 and was out with friends after dinner. She believes someone slipped a drug into her glass of wine and later assaulted her.
I lost consciousness. Woke up in a strange bedroom, just extraordinarily confused, not knowing what had happened to me.
She immediately called her husband, who had just arrived in Vail, and they went to the Vail Valley Medical Center emergency room.
They didn't seem overly concerned, honestly. They told me that they did not have the necessary tools or equipment for a rape kit.
You told them that you thought you might have been drugged?
Yes.
Did they say, well, let's do a urine sample or a blood test?
No.
Lee was told she could go to another hospital in Summit County to be examined, but she says the staff at Vail Valley Medical Center never called police, never referred her to a crisis center, or explained the SANE exam.
They need to have better protocol about how to make sure that person gets information and referred in an appropriate way, not just, we don't do that, go to that hospital.
I remember walking outside with my husband and just sobbing. I mean, to go to the ER and then walk right out the door with still no idea of what's happened to you.
They chose not to report it to the police, not to tell me that there was a SANE program.
Vail police found Catherine's case so egregious it referred charges in the case to the district attorney. But the DA declined to prosecute, stating the staff did not believe the injury involved a criminal act, and while the doctor report should be considered as collecting evidence, that failure to report does not rise to the level of criminal conduct.
The hospital's behavior was abhorrent, and that they have an obligation as a medical institution to care for their patients, and they did nothing.
Now, the CEO of the Vail Valley Medical Center refused to be interviewed, but in a statement, she claimed that when appropriate, the staff assists authorities to complete forensic examinations and may refer potential victims to hospitals and/or community services. But the CEO offered no examples of when the hospital actually reported a crime or referred victims. Meanwhile, Lee's criminal case is still open and being investigated. Catherine is suing Vail Valley Medical Center. In the newsroom, I'm John Ferrugia, 7 News.